Welcome back, happy listeners. This week is We Love Nicolas Cage Week.
We sure do.
Why do we like Nicolas Cage? Why do we love him? Because the man can do just about everything in every role, in every capacity. And everyone is probably familiar with the cult classic Valley Girl, Nicolas Cage's first feature film. Nigel, do you remember that one?
I remember it, but I never quite remembered it as a Nicolas Cage film, but it is true. It is a Nicolas Cage film. Yeah, it's always weird to look at first films from famous celebrities. Some of them are rather kooky. But it's interesting you mentioned cult classics.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have an episode separately on cult classics because it's another episode entirely.
And I think I have a different definition of a cult classic than Nigel.
Right, we've talked about it before. But anyway, getting back to Valley Girl, I guess when you consider the time it sprang from, I think it holds up.
You know, they did a remake of this film, of Valley Girl, and I have to say no. I have to say no to most remakes, but really there's a big resounding no to redoing Valley Girl. No.
No, just say no.
And I compare Valley Girl's representation of the 80s to how Saturday Night Fever with John Travolta was definitive to the 70s. I mean, I really feel like they captured the whole, what is that? The true beginnings of the mall, what is that? Scene.
Yeah.
Hanging out. That's where we all hung out. You remember the food court, don't you?
The food court, yeah. Hanging out. No, it was a scene at one point.
Yeah, scamming on people. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with you on the remakes. I think, with a few notable exceptions, they're generally disappointing.
Well, yeah. And look at what they did to the original Poltergeist film. No, did you see the new Poltergeist? Okay. I'm really sorry to those of you who liked the new Poltergeist. If you are young and you think that that's the original one, no, the original Poltergeist is probably my favorite horror film of all time. But back to Nicolas Cage, though. You go into his other roles in Raising Arizona, Peggy Sue Got Married. You and I just watched Raising Arizona when we came down with COVID. I think we're just traumatized.
That got us through. That helped us through. That movie really helped us through. But yeah, no, it's really impressive how prolific he is. Like you said, he does it all. I think he's got over 100 actor credits. He's been in a ton of films spanning several decades. I remember going through a David Lynch phase, and he's Sailor Ripley and Wild at Heart.
I've never seen that.
Oh yeah, you got to see that. And then also a big Coen Brothers fan, and there he is as H.I. McDonough in Raising Arizona, classic. So we just watched that one together.
Come on, Nathan, we're gonna go pick up Daddy.
Don't come back without a toddler. Yeah. So, and then what were some other ones we saw? His action ones, Gone in 60 Seconds, Knowing.
Great movie.
And there's one weird one I was watching, and I had to look it up later because I didn't know I had never heard of it, but I caught the second half of Willy's Wonderland, the one where he plays this janitor. These kids are battling with animatronic puppets possessed by demons. We're gonna have to watch this one.
Okay, yes,
it's great stuff.
Willy's Wonderland. Okay,
yeah,
is
Willy's
on my
Wonderland.
list.
He plays the janitor, but obviously we have to watch that one from beginning to end.
Okay.
Before we can comment any further.
All right.
But what else?
Okay.
Classics.
Well, in the Nicolas Cage, I think he is a genre all in of himself.
True.
Right by himself. I would say I always loved Peggy Sue Got Married. I don't know if you ever saw that. He was just funky in that film, but he was funny, and I loved it. And now, if you haven't seen this, it's one of those cheeseburger films, cheesy but satisfying. Some people talk about Rotten Tomato films. I talk about cheeseburger films. And if you are in the mood for something that is lighthearted and fun, Peggy Sue Got Married, please check it out. You know, something you can watch for the whole family. Or, you know, just if you have had COVID and need to be cheered up. Anyway,
Yes.
now...
It'll get you through.
Now, somewhere in the 90s, Nicolas Cage started on his action films. And what was his first action film again? Oh, yeah. The Rock, Con Air, Face Off. Honestly, I've only seen Con Air. I got to admit, that was pretty wicked. That was a wicked film. One of the only action films I really, truly enjoy. And I don't remember as much of it as his other films, but I just know that if I'm going to have to watch an action film, he's right up there with Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
A Steven Seagal film. Okay.
Yeah, if anyone can do it, you know, Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage can do it.
He can hold his own in any genre, really.
Really? And have you seen much of his action films?
I haven't really. I got to be honest. I didn't quite keep up with his 90s a lot more. Oh, well, I mean, I remember seeing Leaving Las Vegas and kind of high hopes, and then really being disappointed like a lot of other people were. But just because he just played such an abysmal character, an irredeemable kind of thing.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
you know, that wasn't... I can't really blame him, though. That was who he was supposed to be.
Yeah, that was the character. And I got to admit, I actually really felt rather ill watching that film and only got halfway through it. I don't think I don't think I got through the whole thing. But I remember watching him as he went into this total self-destruct, and Elizabeth Shue's character as well, both depicted just how far into the bell jar any person is capable of going. And actually, I don't really think... Yeah, I know I didn't watch the end. I had to stop. But one of my all-time faves that you and I have got to see together, It Could Happen to You. What a great film about winning the lottery. Rosie Perez and Bridget Fonda are in this. But the films that may come up in one of our other regular season podcasts is Knowing and Next. He was in both of them. God, I mean, he's just so diverse. But I would classify both those as sci-fi. He really took off in the sci-fi and horror genre. And did you see Ghost Rider?
I did not, but I did see Knowing. Actually, we watched that one together.
Yeah, we watch a lot of movies together.
Yeah,
this is our thing. I'm turning you into a movie buff.
I got a long way to go still, but I'm getting there.
But if you like Knowing, you are gonna love Next. And actually, just for cross-reference, if you like Next, Nicolas Cage's Next, you would probably really enjoy Sandra Bullock's Premonition. Very similar.
Okay.
Very similar. But anyway, along with we love the natural disaster.
Yeah.
And sci-fi films.
It's genre unto itself. The natural disasters. End of the world. Yeah, but there's...
We want to end it all.
Yeah, we'll get to that one in a later episode, too. There's so much... There's a lot of bad sci-fi, I think, but whenever someone nails it, I really do appreciate it. And so Nicolas Cage has done quite well there.
Yeah. And he literally has not stopped working since he started his career in 1981. And oh man, I would also like to correct myself because Fast Times at Ridgemont High came out before Valley Girl, another cult classic, what I consider a cult classic. One of the original films that started the whole teen scene films that led John Hughes to become the teen flick king. And damn, he's good.
Yeah, I think in Fast Times, I think he was still Nicholas Coppola. Nicolas Cage went under. He had his name was different.
It was?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
It was at the first like one or two films, or at least the first film.
Okay, we need to
Fast
look that
Times.
up.
Yeah.
I'm going to look that up. We
Yeah.
got to look that up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. I had no idea.
Yeah.
See, Nigel is teaching that.
I'm good for a few little obscure tidbits.
Nice. So
I feel like Mike. I was not aware of that. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay. That was good. But there it is. We love
is.
Nicolas Cage.
We do.
And we know you do too. And you know, it's been a while. Check out some of his older work, or if you're, you know, of the millennials, you've got to check out Nicolas Cage's older movies. I swear, most of his films never get old. Literally. Okay, Matchstick Men. Okay, if you have anxiety issues, you might not want to watch Matchstick Men, actually, because it can trigger you. I swear to God. You're actually going to feel nervous watching this, but he was great in it. The Family Man was awesome. City of Angels was a really great film. I mean, he has literally done guy flicks, chick flicks. He has also done a ton of voiceover for kids' films. He's another one that does voiceover for kid films.
Yeah.
And I could go on, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see this man end up with a Lifetime Achievement Award sometime in the near future. I mean, I can see that, you know, but I think that's, you know, that's all we have to say about Nicolas Cage, because he is the man.
I mean, you know, obviously he deserves an entire series, but just for we're gonna pause it here. I mean, we could go on.
I mean, we could, because he is literally in and of himself is a genre of film.
He is literally a one-man genre.
Yeah. Go Nicolas Cage. We love you.
Go Nicolas Cage.
Go Nick.
Yeah.
Come on our show one day.
Wouldn't that be a treat?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're listening, Nicolas Cage, you're invited on our show. Thank you.
We're not worthy.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed our show on Nicolas Cage. We'll be back with more summer movie fun. So tune in next week, wherever you're listening from. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. We're going to try to continue to add more platforms as we go. Keep popping that popcorn, and we'll see you at the movies.
Out.